Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Christy Van with Fantastic Finances. And on this channel, I usually talk about velocity banking. But today I have my great friend Alex, who is the most awesome person in the world that I know. He is joining me today because I want to talk about his upcoming webinar. We've done a couple of webinars together so far, and they have been wonderfully full of all of this information to do with your business ideas. What dream have you had to start a business, and what's stopping you from doing it? So today we're going to talk with Alex and let him give us some information about what this upcoming webinar is going to be like. Welcome, Alex.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, the last two webinars we've done, we've had in total, I think, 3,000 people register for both webinars. And I think we're getting better and better as time goes on. But no, we've had great feedback from them. And it's all about how we all have some type of knowledge, right? I have so many people tell me, nobody would want to hear me teach them, or what do I have to share? And even if you don't have a business, even if you work in a company, but maybe you navigated a messy divorce, maybe you can help people, with their finances, maybe you know how to lose weight. And so everybody has some knowledge. They have something that they can share with the world. But I think so many people, they get stuck in that kind of 9 to 5, like rat racing trap of clock in, clock out, and they don't really know, okay, well, how can I share my knowledge? How can I really build this into an actual business online? And, I'm living proof, you're living proof. And so that's what the webinar is about. How do you build a business? And that's why we're giving this blueprint. It's the Business Blueprint Summit. Totally free, no sales pitch, nothing like that. August 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern. The link is down below. And the whole idea is that it's just going to be fun. It's going to be informative, and it's just going to share information about how do you share your knowledge? How do you package it? How do you sell it and build, a thriving business like Christy and I have? And so hoping to see you guys there.
Right. So when I first met you, I literally went through your link and scheduled a call. And I believe I have shared before that I didn't want to start working with you only because you were young.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's this young guy going to teach me that I don't already know? But I think that what was so encouraging about you when I look back is my mindset was wrong, because I was like, nobody's going to want to hear a Tennessee hick talk about finances. And you were like, everybody's going to want to hear you talk about finances. So I had you working on my mindset from the very first time that we talked. Is that something that you run into a lot, where people just don't believe that they can do or accomplish what their dream is?
100% of the time, we all have some type of fear of failure, right? Whether we start working out and we're like, I'm afraid I'm not going to get the body that I want, or with the business, I'm afraid I'm going to fail. I'm afraid I'm not going to get the result I want. I'm going to get embarrassed. But I tell people, you hate what you're doing. Like, this is what people tell me. I hate my job. I hate my lifestyle. I want to make more money. I want to help people, but I'm afraid to start this business. I'm like, you should be afraid of not doing anything about your
Right.
situation, just continuing to go like status quo. That's the real failure, is never trying, never kind of giving something a worthwhile shot in terms of a leap of faith, building a business and doing it for a long time. I have people tell me, oh, everything I've done, everything I've touched has failed. And they've done this for 2 months, right? This for a month, this for 6 months. And I'm like, I've been doing this for 9 years. I'm still growing, still learning, still, evolving. So you have to give something a long-term, a consistent period of time. But I think a lot of people have the fear of failure, that, oh, I'm not good enough, or who's going to listen to me? But I think those are all limiting beliefs leading to the idea that I am afraid of failing. I'm afraid of putting myself out there. But I like to reframe that, as I mentioned, and say you should be afraid of doing what you're doing and not getting the result that you want. The result that you want is much more important than the reasons and the excuses why it's not going to work.
Right. And I too was that person, because, I was over 50 years old, and it's like, I need to focus on the kids and the grandkids and like drop the dreams. But, it wasn't so much of a dream that, oh, I'm going to hit it big and get rich. It was the dream of, I wanted to share some information with people that I knew would bring them financial peace if I could just get it out there. But I didn't have, my limiting beliefs told me, you can't do that. That's for everybody else out there. That's for the young crowd. So, if I wanted to encourage people, it's that you can do it no matter what age you are. I mean, look at Colonel Sanders. He was so old, when he finally opened his first Kentucky Fried Chicken. And when I heard about that when I was younger as well. And you're like, golly, though, what do you have a good, 10 or 20 years left after that? The fact is that you're going to be alive in 10 or 20 years regardless of if you stay working at your office job that you hate, or you take a jump and you go do something that you always wanted to do. I think that that was the craziest thing I thought that I always had was, yeah, but I'm 40. I've waited too late to do this.
Mhm.
Alex, you're the only young person that I personally know that actually took a jump while they were young. So
Mhm.
most of the people are like me. They're already older, and it's like, well, I may only have 15 years left on this earth. Maybe, but the
Right.
fact is that you may die fulfilled, when you do pass on. So, the limiting beliefs, I know that sounds so crazy, but that was one of mine because it's like, what's the point now? But the point is, I have had the time of my life doing what I'm doing finally. And you were the one that pushed me into it. You literally, you told me it was a go. I just had to get busy, and I did get busy. And it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun work. So I just think that you're awesome. And, of course, my husband is definitely my backbone, but
Mhm.
you were the one that kind of gave me the push to say, you can do this. And I'm so thankful that you pushed me there. That's why I love holding these webinars with you, is because if we reach one person out of 3,000 and change their life, with their business and their income, and how fulfilled they are, that's wonderful. I mean, it's worth a webinar to me to be able to touch people like that.
Exactly. I mean, we all spend so much time on Instagram and yes, YouTube watching some, educational content, maybe wasting time on TikTok, watching TV. Like we're watching The Bachelorette right now. It's an amazing show. It's entertaining, but I mean, that's 90 minutes I could be spending on a webinar,
Right,
right? And so
right,
time isn't the issue in terms of joining the webinar. I think it's more people believing, is this real? Can I do it? What's this like? What's the angle? What are they trying to do? But people that, of course, know you and have done business with me, they know that's not the way we do things. It's 100% free. There's no $500 course or anything like that. It's designed to kind of give you a taste of what's possible, give you kind of a blueprint on what you can do and how to make it happen on your own. You could do it for free and, kill it. Because I have had success. I have made mistakes. So really, I want you to avoid those avoidable mistakes and say, here's the blueprint, follow the steps A to Z, and then you can make it happen.
right, right. And I think that that is what you are so good at. The way that you encourage and you show people and you give the steps. Is that what this webinar is going to be about this time? Are you going to like have a layout plan that people can follow?
Exactly. Right. So it's not just about, hey, you can do this and go have fun. It's like, hey, if you follow this step, build your offer. What unique value proposition do you have? What can you talk about that's unique? What angle can you talk about it from? How do you get people to know who you are? I talk to so many people, whether they have a business or whether they're just starting a business, they don't know kind of about marketing. They're like, oh, I have this business, or I want to sell this thing, or I have this course, but they have no foot traffic. It's like if you have a pizza place in the middle of nowhere, you have no
Right.
traffic, you're not going to get sales. And so the idea is that how can we build the marketing, get people to know your name, build your brand, and once you have that brand, people are going to want to reach out to you and say, "Hey, I love what you're doing. Like, how can I get involved? How can I pay you or work with you?" So, the blueprint's based on how can you build your brand, which I've done it, you've done it, anybody else on this, video or webinar can do it. Building the brand, and then of course after that point, people are going to be asking you like they asked you, what are you offering? Like, how can I pay you? Like, what coaching can I get from you? So a lot of people think, okay, let me spend 5 years developing my course or my offer, what I'm going to sell, and maybe it's too late. Maybe you should listen to the market and do marketing, not your product or your offer. And so the whole idea is that how do you build the marketing, build demand for you, your time, your services, your energy, and then once you build up the demand, then your supply gets lower over time, and that's the leverage that you want in your business. Most people in businesses, they have so much supply, they have more than enough time, they don't have demand for their services, and so that's where what they charge, it goes down a cliff. Whereas if you have demand for your services by building a brand, you can really not just charge whatever you want, but you can work with who you want to work with and how you want to work with them, which is why people want a business. They want that freedom. And so that's the whole idea behind what we're going to be talking about on the webinar.
Right, right. So I remember being so lost when the first time you said to me, we need to build your brand. I'm like, I don't have a brand. What are you talking
It's like
about?
a brand is like McDonald's or Walmart. Like, I'm
I
not a
know.
brand.
And I'm thinking a brand of cereal. I mean,
Kellogg.
I was just like all the way down to the very foundation of how to start a business and how to build one. And I, honest to goodness, I thought it couldn't happen. So, I always say the favor of the Lord is on the channel. And I do believe that. But you taught me the foundational beginnings of starting a business that I wasn't even aware that was possible. I mean, I was talking to you, and I've told you my husband paid you because I would not. Uh,
Hmm.
and that was just because I was so limited in the belief of what I could accomplish. How far can I take this? So, for the channel to blow up like it did, and for that brand to really take off, that was all new to me. So if you're listening out there and you're wondering, what did Christy Van do to start this business? What does Alex do? You need to come to the webinar, because the fact is that we all are just feeling our way through a dark world. And when you have a light inside of you that is something that you have a true passion about, a desire to do and to help people, it's probably going to be just as successful for you when you start. It's just that you haven't put the foot forward yet to get started. And Alex is the one that can help you do that. Trust me, guys, I don't push anybody to you that I haven't tried and tested myself. And Alex, you have definitely proven that you are totally who you are. Like, people looking at you right now, you're not putting on a front.
Hmm.
This is Alex Alberin, and you are a spectacular person. I'm going to continue sharing you with the world because I am very excited about what you do. And I'm wondering, what do you do exactly? How is it that you have this way that you encourage people, and you just know that a person's going to succeed because you feel that drive in them when you have that first conversation? I remember our first conversation. You were on fire knowing that I could do this when I didn't. How do you know that? When you talk to somebody, what is it that you see or you hear in their voice when you talk to them?
Exactly. No, you have the hunger for growth, right? I think if I have that, that's something that I can mold as a foundation. But if someone's like, oh, I want to, build this business in an hour a week and have passive income in 2 months, I'm like, there's nothing I can really help you do. Like, that's not what this is. It's about, yeah, putting in the work. But what I help clients do is save time by saying, hey, if you, for the next 10 days, just do this, step one, two, and three, that's the best thing you can do with your time. A lot of people are busy. They're like, oh, I'm doing this, farmer's market thing, and I'm doing a YouTube channel, and I'm doing a million other things. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to get results in like 100 years. You're not an expert at any of those things. And so, when I work with someone, even on the initial call, it's kind of understanding how big is their vision, but how big and when. I think a lot of people have big goals. You're like, oh, I want to make $1 million, Alex. I'm like, that's great. They're like, can I do that in 3 months? And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not impossible, but let's be realistic. That's not happening. Like, I always tell people, why so fast? Like, what's your like, what's happening in 3 months? Like, why not 3 years?
Right.
When I've built, yeah, great business. I had my best year of my business last year. That was my like 8th year in business. So it's like at a certain point, yeah, you do have to put in the work. Even you're getting better. You're improving the videos. You're doing the conference. Like, you're making adjustments that only can happen once you execute. You make adjustments. You keep executing, and over time, that's why you have a brand and you have a great business. And so, as long as someone has the hunger for growth, they have a big vision. But big vision has to be over a period of time. I can work with that.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the conference, you brought that up.
Yeah.
That is another thing that you've been throwing at me for about probably 6 or 8 months.
Hmm.
You need to do a conference. And I'm like, that's insane. No one is going to pay to come to see Christy Van. And you said, they'll come, just do
Yeah.
it. And, we've watched the Lord unfold all of these things that we weren't even expecting to do with the upcoming conference. And it's going to happen. And I'm like totally standing back in amazement at how my life has unfolded in the last year and a half. And you are such a huge part of that. And like I said, I want to share you with people, because if I can encourage people to build their dream and to get out of that mundane, I hate going to work attitude. Wow, what a change it's made for me. And I
Hmm.
know you can do it for a lot of people, and you've already worked with a lot of my clients. You've also turned away a lot of clients because some people will come to you, and they're like, I want this, and this to happen, but you can tell by maybe their passion or their lack of passion, that they're just not ready yet. So I appreciate that about you as well. You're not just money hungry, taking people's money, on a false dream.
Hmm.
You listen to them. You've even advised people of how to move without taking a dime from them.
Hmm.
want to help people as much as I do. And I feel that in you and I appreciate that. So if there is anybody out there that you have a dream of some kind of business that you've always wanted to do, or maybe it's not a dream. Mine wasn't a dream. It was just something that I knew I had to do. I knew that it was in me and that people needed it. And I was trying to figure out a way to get it to more people. And maybe you have that same thing going on inside of you. So, Alex, I appreciate you coming on here today. I am looking so forward to that webinar, August the 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That would be 5 p.m. Pacific. So, we hope that you guys will register to join us below. And I'm excited about it, Alex.
No, me too. And thanks so much for the kind words. And I think it's very rare, right, as adults to meet people like we've met and to build a relationship with us and our, families as well. I think so many people, they have their high school friends and they kind of just stick with them. But I think the fact that we got connected, of course, in a business relationship, and then we've developed so much, and it's only been, I think, 17, 18 months or so. And so
Right.
imagine in 18 years, right? It's just
I
going to continue to
know.
blossom, and we're going to continue to be blessed and, of course, bless other people as much as we can. And so, no, looking forward to the webinar. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again. Again, people, if you want to find out where you could go with your business, please join us August the 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The link is below, and we look forward to seeing you there.